Which is the better Pixel phone in 2023? Is it the Pixel 6a or the Pixel 6? Hi everyone, this is JD, your gadget review friend. Welcome back to Gadget Rev Now. I was posting a lot of polls in our community to get to see your opinion about smartphones, and that one question that was super interesting is the best value used phone today. And there's a lot of conversation revolving around Pixel 6a and Pixel 6. So today we will check and compare these two phones. Which is the better value phone in 2023? Let's go to work. Let's talk about the age of these two phones. Pixel 6 was released October 2021, while Pixel 6a was released May of last year. So a year-old mid-range phone versus a year-and-a-half-old flagship phone. I think both of them would age well in terms of design because both of them looks the same, it's just a difference in size. I think the only known difference will probably be the updates because Google Pixel 6 will only get updates until October 2026, while Pixel 6a will get software support until July of 2027. If you want to know more about that, I will leave the link in the description below. Alright, so in terms of updates, I think the newer Pixel 6a has an edge over Pixel 6. Now let's talk about the camera. So Pixel 6a borrowed the sensors from the older generation Pixel 5, but has censorship for better image processing. The colors on the images on Pixel 6a pops out. It's more saturated, but the only problem on the sensor is the low light. It obviously takes good night shots, but the video recording capability on low light condition is a suspect. Well, for the flagship Pixel 6, I think it provides a more natural looking colors, and that 50 megapixel sensor obviously stands out because of the bigger physical sensor. It's 1/1.31, which is twice as big as what you can find on Pixel 6a, so technically you will have a better low light video recording on Pixel 6. Sadly, both of these phones only have mediocre 8 megapixel selfie and can only shoot 1080p video, so that's a bummer. At least Google should have given these phones 4K video recording on the selfie camera. By the way, I have a separate camera comparison video of these two phones. I will leave the link in the description, basically a night shot difference between the two. Alright, so 1 point for Pixel 6 and 1 point for Pixel 6a. When we talk about build quality, obviously the more expensive handset will have an edge on this, as the manufacturer will probably put more premium materials on the more expensive handset. It's the same argument on these two phones. Pixel 6 gets Gorilla Glass Victus in front and Gorilla Glass 6 at the back, while Pixel 6a only gets Gorilla Glass 3 in front and plastic back. So in a nutshell, if you don't want to use a case because these two phones are already big enough to carry, Pixel 6 will age well. For Pixel 6a, you don't have a choice because it has plastic back. You need to put a case on it or else it would get ugly really quick. I think just an FYI for Pixel 6, the top part of the phone is only plastic because I actually dinged it on my first week using it. By the way, I just want you to know that we are increasing the numbers of our YouTube Shorts and community posts. If you see one of those community posts or YouTube Shorts, don't forget to comment so we can chat a little bit more. Now let's go back to the video. Let's talk about the operating system, and again, both of them will run on the same UI pretty much, the Android stock experience. And that explained on my first comparison, which is the age. Pixel 6a will age well because it has longer updates from Google. But that's the only difference in the operating system, as both phones will basically run the same operating system all the time until 2026. Also looking at the future, both phones are good value phones because it will still receive updates 3 to 4 years from now. Okay, so in terms of performance, it's almost the same, but there's actually a difference in terms of multitasking. So almost identical hardware components for both phones, but Pixel 6 has a bigger RAM of 8 gigs compared to 6 gigs of Pixel 6a. I mean, on a day-to-day activity, Google Pixel 6a will do well, but that extra 2 gigs of Pixel 6 helps with multitasking in heavy games. Again, not a night and day difference, but obviously the bigger RAM translates to a better multitasking and keeping the apps open. They both have the first generation Tensor chip, so I would expect the same level of performance for both phones. But I think because of how cheap the Pixel 6a is, you get better value on the mid-range phone in terms of performance. So far so good on both phones, almost identical. In terms of screen technology, I'm looking at this on both ways. Let's start with the mid-range phone. It only has 6.1 inch but has a bigger density of 429 ppi compared to 411 of Pixel 6. So smaller screen with higher density means it is significantly sharper compared to Pixel 6. But Pixel 6 all have the flagship capability or features on the screen. Pixel 6 they only had OLED screen, but Pixel 6 has AMOLED screen with 90Hz screen refresh rate that supports HDR10+. You will notice that the home screen transition on Pixel 6 is smoother compared to Pixel 6a. And lastly, let's talk about the battery and charging, and there's a difference here. So in terms of physical battery, Pixel 6 is bigger than Pixel 6a, but it consumes more battery because of the 90Hz screen and the bigger screen. So in my own personal test, it dies faster compared to Pixel 6a. While the mid-range Pixel 6a has a smaller screen and a 60Hz refresh rate, so although it only has a smaller physical battery, it is better and longer. But in terms of charging, Pixel 6 has a faster 30 watts fast charging compared to the slower 18 watts of Pixel 6a. Pixel 6 also supports wireless charging with up to 20 watts fast charging. In terms of battery life, almost the same for both phones, probably like less than an hour difference. But in terms of charging, Pixel 6 wins this category because it's faster compared to the mid-range phone. So these are the differences of these two phones. In terms of audio, it's the same quality of sound. It is the same Bluetooth 5.2, a slightly different water protection IP68 on Pixel 6 and IP67 on Pixel 6a, which means Pixel 6 can go deeper 0.5 meters below water. So these are two great Pixel phones. One is a previous generation flagship phone, and the other one is a new and affordable mid-range phone that receive a lot of praises from influencers and users. So before we end, my question for you today is, which is the better value Pixel phone today, the Pixel 6a or the Pixel 6?